I have 4 Game Boy Colors here, courtesy of a very discourteous flood that happened in Pikeville, Kentucky. The gaming company, in their eBay page, they said that there was 4 feet of standing water inside of this store, which is obviously awful. And like all people who are affected by natural disasters, my heart goes out to you. One good thing that comes though from living in the era that we do is that with the proliferation of these type of channels on YouTube and hobbyists in general, items like this that may at one time in the past have been destined for the landfill now tend to find their way into hands like mine. So if you ever find yourself in possession of something like this that you're tempted to just throw away because of the condition that it's in, I want to encourage you, give it a shot. Try to find new life in this thing. You don't have to be an expert in order to take something apart and deep clean it. And you'd be surprised at how often that's all it takes. There's no guarantee, but in a lot of cases I find that just giving something a good safe clean does the trick. But if you just don't want to do it, at least consider selling it. Put it on eBay. You don't even have to clean it up. In fact, I'd suggest you don't clean it up. Put it on there looking as dirty and gross as it possibly can, and you'll get people like me who are willing to pay money for it. What is this? I have looked all over this thing, and for the life of me, I cannot figure out where this came from. It doesn't match anything on any of the other colors. I have no idea. Someone knows though. You'll let me know in the comments, I'm sure. If you're new to the channel, I want to welcome you and give you just a little bit of an explanation as to what I'm all about. My name is Rob, this is Restorish, obviously, and I work together with Steve at Tronics Fix. If you know Steve, he is into the fixing and he is pretty good at it. I am not, but I do enjoy cleaning stuff, and the challenge I've given myself with this channel is to see how many of these things I can give life to just by giving them a good deep clean. Alright, let's take a look at the first motherboard here from this red or berry colored Game Boy Color. And yeah, you can see we got some of that dirt that's caked on the underside there. Let's get all these membranes and buttons out of the way. And then obviously we've got to do this process with all of them. Now this is one of those moments that just makes the hair on my arm stand up. I have this little pad of stickers that happens to have a red, a green, oh man, blue is the next one. It would have been too awesome if it was the right order even. And yellow. And so we can mark these boards and remember where they go. I'm going to use some heat here from this hair dryer just to kind of loosen up the adhesive that has these screens held down. Then just by twisting it a tiny bit here and getting my pry tool underneath, carefully we can pop the actual screen out of here. And then we can kind of do the same thing for the screen protector on the outside. There we go. No, that goes there. I don't know if it's just because of the dirt, but notice how 2 of these screens have kind of a different color on the back side of them. Interesting. I think I figured out where this piece came from. If we look at the cover here for our battery compartment, it looks exactly like that. But the one we have is containing ours, which tells me this broke off on a different cover and somehow got lost inside of this Game Boy. For the rest of the non-plastic pieces, I'm going to begin this process with some 99% solution of isopropyl alcohol and a makeup brush here to clean the screen because it's nice and gentle. I'm also going to be able to do a little bit of cleaning on this foam on the back side just by kind of rubbing it a little bit with this makeup brush and the IPA, and then use a microfiber cloth to carefully finish the screen. After cleaning with the makeup brushes, I could tell that these pens are still a little bit corroded or dirty, so I'm going to give them a little bit of a rub here with the magic eraser, and that should help a lot. There, that looks a lot better. little bit of deoxit on here with my cotton swab, and that should be good to go. I would just create a bunch of mud if I kept using the makeup brushes on this right here, so I'm going to switch to the cleaning wipes. I'm trying to be really careful and not use a bunch of pressure because I don't want to accidentally scratch the screen with the little grits of dirt. But that's coming off nice and easy. Also using this IPA on the back side of this screen protector as well as the adhesive part around the edge. The IPA will, once that dries, it'll help kind of make it sticky again by cleaning it up. Now the microfiber cloth, just to give this a final wipe and carefully get the edges and just make sure everything looks really good, and I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. Of course, I have no idea how this stuff looked before the flood, so I don't know if I caused any of those scratches or if they were there before. Let's just say they were there before. I'm going to use a fine sandpaper pad here to kind of just get rid of the rust off of these metal parts. It doesn't make it look perfect. If this were on the outside of the console, I definitely wouldn't use sandpaper like this to remove rust, but on the inside, it does a good job at stopping the corrosion and getting everything back to the way it should be. Then I can use my dental pick to get into the places that I can't quite reach. And then finish it off with this stiff bristle brush. There, that looks pretty good, I think. Onto the motherboards. I'm just going to use a much larger makeup brush here, get it good and saturated with the IPA, and start demudding this thing. Switching to the smaller makeup brush again because I can get a little bit better pressure with it to get in these hard to reach areas. I'm going to use this BW100 contact cleaner to spray inside of any of these ports or areas where there's connections, moving pieces, and just try to irrigate that dirt out of there. Almost done with this board. I just want to get this rust off of these battery contacts with this stiff bristle brush. Just a little bit of stubborn buildup here. There we go, this one's looking good to me. Let's move on. I left this stuff soaking while I cleaned the rest of everything, so let's come back to it, get it all brushed up, and we can move on. Now that we're done with our soapy clean and everything's dry, there's just a little bit of sticky residue on the inside of this blue one. We're gonna get out of here. There, that should take care of it. Here we have everything all nice and clean and shiny. And I know there are some people out there who have asked for this shot, so here you go. Let's do one more super speed montage for our assembly process on all four of these. All right, we're all done with that in record time. Let's take a look at where we came from before we test these out. Once again, my expectations aren't through the roof. Cleaning does not always fix if something's broken, but we're gonna find out, starting with this red one. And it looks like it's good to go, at least power-wise. Let's test the game and see if the buttons are working. Sorry for the glare on the screen. All right, 1 out of 4. Green. Hey, once again, power. And all the buttons seem to be working fine. This is going better than I hoped it would. Blue. Okay, we have a little bit of a problem. I'm guessing with the connector cable. I might just take this one back apart and see by putting it back together, or take a better look at that cable to make sure that the screen is okay. And let's test our last one here, Dandelion Yellow. And we're not getting anything out of it, no response. So it may be worth it to me to just take both the yellow and the blue one apart here, see if I notice anything and if I can get them working. And if not, hey, we got 2 out of 4 just with cleaning, so not bad. All right, the first thing we're going to address is this ribbon cable. I'm noticing a little bit of something that's kind of stuck on here on these pins on the end. So we're going to try to scrape carefully, clean that up. A little bit of deoxit on here, and that looks pretty good to me. I want to clean out this card reader as well, so a little bit of IPA on my brush, and I'm seeing some gunk down in there. Get some longer bristles to reach down in there a little bit deeper. Some deoxit down inside of there. Just gonna move that around in there a little bit. Okay, so we have a screen, but we don't have volume on this one now. Taking a look at this speaker, and it looks a little bit rusted inside of there. So I'm gonna grab a donor board from upstairs, and it says bad on it, but I think the speaker might work and the board just might be bad. So let's take this off of here. This is a level of soldering that I feel comfortable with, so I'm not gonna run and grab Steve quite yet. But yeah, I think I can handle getting this one swapped on here. So we're gonna have a hopefully good working speaker from this donor board. All right, let's get it cleaned up. We don't like that flux in there. It's not gonna hurt anything, but hey, this is a cleaning channel. And a bit of a bummer. This is still not working. Let's test it out with some headphones to see if it's actually the speaker. And can you hear that? Yeah, so the headphones are working, so it is the speaker probably. We just went ahead and threw a new speaker in here. Let's get it mounted with this little ring thing that's meant to keep it in place, and get this thing put back together and test it out. All right, this is working. It feels good. And we are gonna move on to this yellow one now. 3 out of 4, but we have this one that didn't power on at all. So let's just kind of take in a look here, and we're gonna clean a couple of areas that look like they could use a little bit more cleaning. Looking under a microscope, and this little off-on switch here, there's a pin here in the corner that looks like it's almost completely corroded away. So that might be the issue. Well, there you go. So just putting everything back together and this thing turns on. The buttons are a little unresponsive though, so I'm gonna take this apart one more time, and we're gonna try to get this perfectly working here. So let's just clean the contact area here where the buttons connect with the board. Put everything back together. Oh no, did I just clean it until it broke? The batteries look like they're in here correctly. Try it again. Nothing. And now it's working. And I literally did nothing. I took the game cartridge out and put it back in. So it's a little temperamental. Let's kind of try it a couple times just to make sure it's working. All right, that does it for today. 3 of these working just from cleaning. One of these could count if I didn't have ethics and I just pretended that there were no problems, but it does turn off and on, and I think that power switch probably needs to be replaced. Still, for just cleaning and trying to bring life back to these flooded Game Boys, I'm really happy with this project. If you enjoy this and want to keep hanging out with me, I'm going to have YouTube leave a recommendation for another video of mine, and we'll see where it takes you. And if you have something unique that you think might make for a good Restore video, please connect with us. I'll leave a link in the description for you to start a dialogue with us, and we'll see. In the meantime, thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you next time. Oh no, what did I do? Nothing, come on. Oh, well, that's how you fix that.